Hi everyone, it's Linnea, and although it is December, I'm going to be switching gears and creating a gorgeous floral card using the LDRS Creative Sunny Meadow stamp set. So I really hope that you guys enjoy when I show my creative process, mistakes and all, because in this card today I made a mistake that I feel like a lot of us have done, and I could have just thrown this panel in the trash bin. And in fact, I went to work and came back to this card like 10 or 12 hours later, and I decided to finish it off. But I got so frustrated that I just kind of set it to the side, and I went to work and I was going to just pitch it. So I'm starting out here with the Sunny Meadow stamp set, and I have some LDRS Creative mini hybrid ink cubes. I'm using Lipstick Jungle and Key Lime Pie. I thought that these were bright, happy colors, and sometimes when it's wintertime, sometimes people like to receive a bright, happy card in the mail. So I'm using that cluster of 3 square-ish flowers, and I am stamping those in the Lipstick Jungle ink, and then I'm filling in with this viney leaf and then that like 3-pointed leaf with the Key Lime Pie ink. And I am just going to fill up this panel, not quite all the way, because I had an idea for this in mind. Now, are you ready for my mistake? Here is the outline image. I inked it up with the Raven ink, stamped it down, was so excited about my impression, and then I dropped my acrylic block onto my card. And you can see me here, I just kind of stopped and I looked at my card and I looked at it and I'm like, man, it's ruined, because there's no way to really cover up a black hybrid ink like that. So, like I said, I went to work, I came back, and I decided to keep on going. My idea for this card was just to have 3/4 of this panel full, and then I was going to cut off the bottom third, or the bottom fourth-ish, and layer that onto a card base with maybe like a piece of pink cardstock going across, and then I would stamp the sentiment in white below it. Now, I can't really do that anymore because I have that large smudge in the middle of my card. But I'm going to keep on working through this, and here is the first way that I'm going to try to cover up my mistake. I decided to fill in my white areas with that little cluster of 3 tiny flowers. And I'm going to use the black ink. Originally, I thought maybe I would fill in with a yellow ink, but when I dropped my acrylic block, the yellow was not going to cover up the black. So I decided to go with the black ink and just kind of start filling in and strategically stamping over where I had ink smudges. Now, I couldn't cover up all of my mistake because it would just be too cluttered. I would have to stamp a whole bunch of flowers in that one space. So I decided to keep on trucking, and I'm going to trim off the bottom portion of my card like I had originally planned to. And so here's where I'm going now, and I'm just going to, instead of stamping my sentiment down on my white card base, I decided to grab the Scalloped Circle Frames set from LDRS Creative, and that large circle is going to be big enough to cover up most of my smudges. Not all, but most. So I will have one more trick to completely erase that mistake. I cut out 3 of those circles. The largest one I left white. The smallest one I stamped the Thinking of You sentiment with the Raven hybrid ink. And then this middle-sized one, I'm using that Lipstick Jungle ink, and I'm just going to blend a little bit around the outside so that I could have a pop of color. And then I also blended some of that Lipstick Jungle ink onto a strip of cardstock, and that's just going to kind of ground and break up my images here. So I'm going to start adhering everything to my card now. I glued my stamped panel up to the top of my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. And then I added that strip of my Lipstick Jungle ink blended cardstock right across where that floral pattern paper that I made meets the cardstock, just to kind of give that a finishing edge. Now, here's where I'm going to completely cover up my error. I'm taking those stacked circle die cuts and I'm adhering that down. Now, in order to cover up my mistake, I had to add my circles to the left side of my card. So all I did was just trim off about 1/4 inch from my right side of the card. So now it's a little bit skinnier, but that is okay for me. So my finishing card is about 4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. You can't really even tell a difference because I trimmed off so little, and I really think that that made all the difference in the world. I could stick with my original background and I didn't have to repeat this card. So thank you guys so much for joining me and staying with me through my mistakes. I'll see you soon. Bye!